What's up guys, welcome back or welcome to the channel if you're new. So today we are doing a DIY Halloween Bone Daddy Den. I am taking this little candle holder, tea light holder that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be turning this into a den. It's not a house, it's just like, you know how guys have like their boys, den and stuff like that. So I'm going to be making this into something like that, but Halloween inspired for Bone Daddies. So for the window part, what I'm just doing now is just cutting it out, and I'm actually using scissors. I thought I was going to need to buy some shears or snips, something like that, but it worked okay with scissors. I definitely will be getting some shears next time around. I think this is aluminum material. I do not think it's metal because I don't think metal would have cut with plain old scissors. So I think this is some aluminum, which still allowed me to cut. I didn't have to go out and buy something, but I'm just cutting out some windows, but I'm not going to cut that cross part all the way off. I'm going to make it where it just like kind of opens up backwards. But for the door part, I'm going to be cutting that down, and I'm going to be bending it downwards. I couldn't even get that out, but I'm going to be bending it downwards, you know, like how doors can bend down. I don't know, something like that. I'm going to be taking this outside and spraying it with the Krylon Fusion Paint Plus Primer Matte Black Spray, because this is green and I want it to be black, and this is a good spray because you do not need to prime. It already has like that 2-in-1, so it will stick to, you know, the thing that you're spraying it on, but it just smells really, really strong, and that smell lasts long. Next thing I'm going to be doing is getting out some sandpaper. This is the 60 medium 6-sheet sandpaper that you can find at Walmart. And I like this 60 medium because the grit is really, really thick and textured. The other ones that I think are lower, maybe even higher in numbers, the grit can look a little bit more, thin and light. So I'm just going to set this on here because this is going to be the base for the house. Den, not house, den. It's like, didn't I just say earlier when I started, it's not a house, it's a den. I'm just going to be taking some plastic. This is just a floral block that I got from the Dollar Tree. I did not buy it just so I can use the plastic. I did buy it to use it, but I did not end up using it in this video like I thought I did. So I'm just going to take the plastic off, and I got this ribbon roll from the Dollar Tree, and this ribbon is so pretty because it has like skulls, bones, and pumpkin on it, and it also says boo and eek. So I'm going to be using this as like a curtain, but I'm going to be taking the plastic and I'm gonna use that as like a, not a protector, but as like the first layer that goes on the window. You're gonna see how it looks, but it's gonna be like a curtain. I didn't just want like the fabric just to be, you know, bare or touching it, just in case. To stick it down in the back, I'm going to be using tape. Now you can use clear tape, but I've used all of my tape up. I don't even remember what I used it on. I used all the clear tape I had, so make sure you get yourself some clear tape, or you can even paint it. If you plan on using something like this as like a house or a den, you want it to be clear just in case the back is going to be out showing, or you want to paint it whatever color the house or the den is going to be. But it's okay because this is not going to be showing, but I'm just going to tape it down so it doesn't move anywhere. I decided to adjust the camera a little bit better so I can show you guys the next one how I did it. It is hard because the camera is behind me. It's hard to adjust the camera a certain way. I know when I see people filming certain things like arts and crafts in their videos, a lot of times they have like a camera that's above them and over them. It's like, I ain't doing all of that. But I am going to try to adjust the camera the best way I can so you can see as much detail as possible. It's really simple, but still. So now you can see that one of the curtains say eek with a skull, and the other one says boo with a skeleton bone and a spider web. I'm pulling out my holographic skeleton coffin tin can. This is where I'm keeping my skull heads, the glitter ones that I got from the Dollar Tree, the white ones in one, and I think the gray tone silver ones in the other. But I'm going to be using the white one today because I'm going to be putting that on the din. To add in a little bit of detail to the skull, I'm going to start off with the Apple Barrel matte paint in the shade black. And I'm going to be painting that in with the eyes, where the eyes are, and the nose is so far. I definitely regret putting the black in where the eyes are at. Obviously, skeletons, skulls, they usually have black in there, but because of the paint, not the paint, but the red glitter that I'm going to be using for the eye part, I felt like it toned that red glitter down, and that's not what I wanted to do. But I'm going to be putting the red glitter in where the eyes are at and the black glitter in where the nose is at. Like I said, because the red glitter was dull since I used the black paint, I'm going to be taking a little bit of Mod Podge, well, a little too much of Mod Podge, and dabbing some of that in the eyes. And then I'm going to go on top of that with the red glitter. See, I should have went in with the red paint, with the white paint, since I don't have red paint. And that would have helped that red glitter to stand out. So you can already see it standing out more, even though I put too much red glitter. Listen, I use too much of everything at this point right now. Just you, less is more, okay? Less glitter, less glue, less paint. For the mouth area, I am mimicking, you know, Billy from Hocus Pocus. Well, obviously everybody knows Billy, but I'm kind of just mimicking that mouth area, and I'm digging the brush into it a little bit just to, you know, like I said, mimic that sewn in mouth, because the teeth thing that I was thinking of wasn't going to work, so that's why I decided to do this instead. And I think it came out really cool. I'm just going to be taking a little bit of black paint to shade in those sunken areas a little bit, like I did in my previous and first Halloween DIY video for the potions. That skull that I added up on top, I shaded in the sunken parts. It just adds a little bit more of that skeleton look. I'm going to hot glue the back of the skull head, and then I'm going to put it where that star is on the din, that the hole as the star. I'm going to put it right through there, and it's going to stick really well because it's going to kind of, because his head is a little bit longer in the back, it's going to kind of go through, and then I'm going to add a little bit more hot glue on the other side to seal it off. For this next part, I'm just going to now hot glue the din to that sandpaper in the middle, but in the back, so that there's enough room on the actual sandpaper itself. Now, I do regret doing this step right now because there was still a lot actually that I had to do to the din. So gluing it wasn't ideal, but it didn't ruin anything, like, and nothing peeled up. You know, once you get something to stick with hot glue, it stuck. So there was no problem with that, but it would have helped to work better with the din itself. To decorate the sides, both sides of the din, I'm going to be using those rub-on transfer stickers that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to be starting off by using this RIP sign that has the skull, and I don't know if that's a money bag at the bottom. Now, pretty much every sticker that I wanted to use today is too big, so I'm going to have to cut certain parts and adjust it. Like, I'm going to cut the skull so it'll stick more so on the RIP sign, and that money bag so it'll stick more, because yeah, like I said, it was way too wide. You can see that, just to go in like that. You just gotta adjust and make it work. And then for the other side, as of right now, I'm going to be sticking on this wide bat, and later on I'll add another sticker because I didn't feel like this was enough. The Dollar Tree carries these mini doll houses that have been going viral, especially when you decorate them for a specific holiday, which I will be doing that soon. So it also came with these little mini people inside that set. I'm going to be using this and sticking that inside. I'm just sticking it right now just to see how it will look, and then I'm going to hot glue it in. I'm going to be using the purple mini person because the purple will go with those curtains that I put up in a window, since that has purple in there. This part is optional, but I just thought it was a nice touch to the din. So now I'm going to be using these white glitter foam bones, and I'm going to be gluing them as an X. This is the same type of technique that I did in my previous DIY video with the potion bottle. This time I'm going to be gluing them in the front across the door. Now that's why I said, yeah, I did get burnt, by the way. I keep touching this glue all the time. I need to work with gloves, but I just feel like it's easier to work hands on without gloves on. But anyway, that's why I said that that little person was optional, because you're not even really going to be able to see it when I glue these bones on. And I'm also, while I'm gluing them on, going to make sure that you can still open up that window part and the bone is not in the way. I'm using this pack of pebbles that I got from the Dollar Tree. These are neon. I did not buy them for anything Halloween, but I had them sitting over because I'm using them in a vase with some floral things that I'm going to buy that's going to match it. But I decided to use this as like the walkway, and I'm going to be hot gluing, putting hot glue down first. Then I'm going to glue the pebbles down to it. Then I'm going to paint some of the pebbles with different paint colors like gray and like this beige color, and then I'm going to put some more hot glue on top of that to kind of seal it in. But this is just going to be like my walkway. Now from the Dollar Tree, they do have like rocks, like actual rock pebble that you can create a walkway that way, but I didn't think about this until the last minute. I was looking around. Let me tell you something. Through this whole thing, I think I was just pretty much thinking of everything as I went along. I had the idea of the den, but most of this extra stuff was just thought through during the process. While I let that glue dry that I painted over the rocks, I'm trying to decide on which moss, the green reindeer moss or the Spanish moss, but I decided to mix them together and then hot glue it down around the house. I was like, okay, one is too green and one is too dead. So if you mix both, it gives a nice touch for like a grassy type of look. But since this is like a bone house, you don't want it to be too green. I went off camera to think about what I wanted to do next. I cut out the walkway so it could lay down like this. And then I also took some paint, water it down so it's like a tinted water. And then I painted over that glue just to tint that as well. So I have this 8-piece of hay bales that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be taking 4 of them, and this is what I'm going to use to level up the house. Not like level up like we, you know, doing something better, but literally to like lift it up so it's off the ground and not flat. And I'm going to be using this in all 4 corners, and I'm going to be hot gluing it. These are the mini skulls that I pulled off of those glitter Halloween bows that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be gluing them in the corner of, on top of the sandpaper. And I'm just going to be gluing the 2 of them in that corner. This is how it looks all the way around so far since I added the hay bales. I definitely think that that helped to elevate it off the ground, and I didn't see, this is the part where I was going to use those foam things, but I'm glad I didn't have to since I remembered about the hay bales. Now we're going to move on to the Super Glow spider web. This is the spider web I got from Big Lots that glows in the dark. I'm going to be applying a little bit of it on top of the den. I was thinking of applying it all over it, but that would hide everything that I just, well, at work I just accomplished. So I'm just going to put it across the top and over the big skull that I glued on top or on the front. And just like I mentioned in that short, these are the certain glow-in-the-dark products that it's best to have a black light flashlight, or it won't automatically glow on its own. You have to have some sort of light to light it up, and then you have to keep lighting it up because it only lasts for a little while. This is also a good idea that since it's open in the back, you can drag some of that spider web stuff down to cover the back up. These are the rings from that 50-piece set that you can get at the Dollar Tree. So this is a spider and a bat, and of course, like I said, just cut off the ring part. So I'm going to be gluing, well, not gluing, but gluing the bat later on top of the house and just putting the spider through. But for now, I'm just going to paint the spider black because it is orange and I would rather have it black. I'm going to set that to the side, and this is the part where I said earlier that I was going to end up adding another sticker because I felt like it wasn't enough. So I'm just adding this skull face to the side of it where the bat is on top of the bat. Well, not on top of it, but close enough to it. And then I'll go back to the spider and just stick it in there since the spider is, that's his web. Instead of gluing it, I'm just going to stick it in. But for the bat, I'm going to start off by using some gray paint just to highlight it, and then I'll glue it on top. This is how it came out looking so far without anything added on. But if you guys remember, I did get two $5 mini village sets from the Dollar Tree that I'm going to be adding to the village. I'm just going to show a sneak peek of how it's going to look now when you add the two pieces that I'm going to add during that time. One is a skeleton and the other one is a beware sign. Now the skeleton is really nice because his hat is purple, which matches the ribbon that I added on as windows, as curtains, sorry. And then the rocks, because it has that neon green, it also matches the curtains as well, the ribbon. I'm just going to be turning off my studio lights because another thing that's optional that I think I am going to add it on and keep it in here when I set up the village in the end are LED lights, little fairy lights. I'm going to put them in the back and hide them under that web. And then the coolest part about how I set up this bale under here, the hay bale, is that you can slide the part where you put the battery in between there and under there, and it hides it very well. And then I also decided to put the fairy lights on the side in the grass so you can see how the stickers look when it lights up. I just think that the whole thing is just really, really cool. The details, honey, the details. Another thing that I think would be cool to add to this is if you had a mini skeleton, like not one that's attached to the light pole like mine is, but just like one that you can bend or whatever, a really small one though. You can make like a chair and set like a chair or a bench out in between where I glue the skulls on a corner. And you see that space right there, you can have like a skeleton sitting out there. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next Halloween DIY.